Andre Ward is one of the slickest, one of the most diverse fighters that know whatever style is out there, and a lot of that comes from the amateurs. He went up against every style, every nationality, and went all the way to the gold medal and won it. Let me tell you, Sergey is coming with some vengeance. He is coming with some attitude. The first fight I said, and I know everybody here probably saw the segment on HBO, in the Sergey and Ward fight, you saw the Matador versus the Bull. You are going to see a carbon copy, but you are going to see it a little bit different from Sergey. I think that he figured out that he got to come in there strong. Everybody knows he hit hard, but in that fight he showed me a little bit of him tiring and a little bit of a lack of energy and snap on his punches later on in the fight. In the second half, the fight was lost then. It was a close fight. As I said before the fight, who will win on camera during the segment I was asked. I said if Sergey wins, he wins by knockout. He had that opportunity, but Ward got up. If Ward wins, he will win by decision. Ward got up and he out-hustled some rounds and he got a decision. So who do you really think won? And I said I stand by what I said. I felt like that. The second go around is even tougher than the first one. Now you have a little different scenario, different reality. And the reality is Sergey don't want to be in that situation again. But is he going to be vulnerable or leave himself open to be countered by Ward and out-muscled in the second half of the fight? Possibly. Those are the words of Bernard Hopkins, talking about the upcoming rematch between Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev for supremacy in the 175-pound light heavyweight division. Hopkins is a very shrewd man. He knows boxing inside out, better than most people out there, better than most of us talking about this fight. His assessment there of the Ward-Kovalev first fight and what's going to happen in the rematch, at least from the Kovalev side of things, to me was interesting, and I think probably going to be proved to be accurate. I'm intrigued by this rematch. I felt in the first fight that Kovalev showed Ward too much respect. He didn't impose his size on Ward as much as I would have liked him to. He engaged in too much boxing. That's what I feel, particularly after the knockdown. You know, you've hurt a little man. I don't want to say a little man, a man who's smaller than you, a man who certainly can't punch like you. You've dropped him. Why not really step on the gas? It's my view that Ward was actually intimidated by Kovalev's power, at least in the first half of the fight, especially after the knockdown. But in the second half of the fight, when Kovalev's power diminished, Ward got confident. And that's when he started winning rounds. Consistently, anyway. So in the second fight, I think Kovalev realizes he really has to impose himself. That's the attitude that he seems to be coming across with in most of the interviews that I've seen him in. He believes that Ward is scared of him, that Ward tried to get out of the fight, and that he's going to go in there and literally batter this guy. But just like Bernard Hopkins said, Kovalev can go in there with that mindset and that intention, but will that play into Ward's hands? If he tries to walk through Andre Ward and physically impose himself on him, as I think he should, will Ward be able to capitalize in terms of counterpunching and whatnot to the point where the strategy will backfire on Kovalev? I'm not sure, but he who dares wins. And I think Kovalev has to gamble a little bit more in this fight than he did in the first fight to ensure the kind of victory which can't be disputed. Either he knocks Andre Ward out or he wins so emphatically that they could never take it from him on the scorecards. And to do that, I think he's going to have to impose himself more and not box as much and really try and force the issue. It is alarming, though, that Kovalev seems to gas late on in fights. You don't see Ward gassing like that in fights. You don't see many fighters gassing like that in fight. But Kovalev, over his past few fights, has been gassing late. And that is a concern. Why is he gassing late? The Ward fight wasn't fought at a blistering pace, but yet Kovalev still seemed to gas. If you're a Kovalev fan, that has to be a concern for you. Why is that happening? And will it happen again in this fight? Particularly if he really goes out and tries to impose himself on Ward like I want him to, will that make him gas even more badly in the second half of the fight? Or will he be in better shape this time around, whereby he won't gas? I don't know. It's fascinating. It's interesting. Let me know what you think about Bernard Hopkins' comments here, his breakdown of the fight. Do you agree with it? How do you think both fighters should approach this particular contest from a strategic point of view? How can they improve from their previous performances and get a emphatic victory this time around? Drop it all in the comment section below. It's Hatman, I'm out.